My name is Maya Catherine Bennett. I am 29 years old. On March 14, 2024, I walked into the emergency wing of Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee, wearing a tailored navy blazer with my company ID clipped to the pocket. The badge read CO Bennett and Hayes Technologies. I was there for a routine pregnancy checkup. My husband Ethan was holding my hand. We were 12 weeks along. We had not told anyone yet. I pushed through the automatic doors into the waiting area, and that is when I saw her. My mother. She was sitting in a plastic chair outside the ICU, her face buried in her hands. Her shoulders were shaking. My Aunt Linda was beside her, holding a crumpled tissue. My younger brother Derek, now 24, was pacing near the vending machines with his phone pressed to his ear. I had not seen any of them in 11 years. Not since the day my father told me to leave his house and never come back. Not since the morning I stood on the front porch of 1247 Maple Grove Lane in Franklin, Tennessee with one suitcase 17 years old and heard the door lock behind me. My mother looked up. Her eyes met mine. She stared at the badge on my blazer. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. Ethan squeezed my hand. I felt the weight of the ring on my finger, the same ring he had given me in secret when I was 16, the ring my parents had thrown in the trash when they found it. My Aunt Linda stood. She took one step toward me, then stopped. She looked at my stomach. She looked at my face. Then she looked at the ID badge again. CO Bennett and Hayes Technologies. $12 million in annual revenue. Featured in Forbes 30 Under 30. The girl they had thrown away had become someone they did not recognize. My brother turned. He froze mid-step. Maya. His voice cracked. I did not answer. Not yet. Because before I tell you what happened in that hospital, before I tell you why my mother was crying, before I tell you how the family that abandoned me ended up needing the one person they said would amount to nothing, I need to take you back. Back to where it all started. Back to a white 2-story house on Maple Grove Lane and the boy next door who changed everything. I grew up in Franklin, Tennessee, 20 miles south of Nashville. My father, Robert Bennett, was a regional manager at a logistics company. My mother, Claire, worked part-time at a dental office and spent the rest of her time managing our home like it was a showroom. Everything had to look perfect. The lawn, the furniture, the Christmas decorations, me. We lived at 1247 Maple Grove Lane. It was a quiet neighborhood. Trees older than my parents. Driveways wide enough for 2 cars. The kind of place where people waved at each other but did not know each other's middle names. Next door at 1249 Maple Grove Lane lived the Hayes family. Mr. Jonathan Hayes was a mechanic. He owned a small auto repair shop on the edge of town, Hayes Motors. It had been in his family for 30 years. Mrs. Caroline Hayes was a substitute teacher. She made the best lemon cake I have ever tasted before or since. And then there was Ethan Michael Hayes. 1 year older than me. Brown hair that always looked like he had just woken up. Quiet. The kind of kid who fixed things instead of talking about them. I was 5 years old the first time I really noticed him. It was June 2000. I was sitting on our front porch steps, crying because my bike chain had fallen off and my father had told me to figure it out myself. I did not know how. I was 5. Ethan walked over from his driveway. He did not say anything. He just knelt down, flipped my bike upside down and put the chain back on. His hands were covered in grease when he finished. There, he said. Try it now. I rode my bike up and down the driveway 6 times that afternoon. Every time I passed his house, he was sitting on his porch steps watching. Not smiling. Just watching. That was Ethan. He did not need credit. He just needed to know things worked. From that day on, we were inseparable. We rode the bus together. We sat under the oak tree in his backyard and did homework. We built a tree house out of scrap wood his dad brought home from the shop. We painted it green because that was my favorite color. My parents tolerated it. Barely. My mother would watch from the kitchen window and shake her head. That boy's shirt has a hole in it, Maya. You should play with the girls from church. But I did not want to play with the girls from church. I wanted to be in Ethan's garage, handing him screwdrivers while he took apart old radios and put them back together. By the time I was 10, I knew 3 things for certain. 1. Ethan Hayes was the kindest person I had ever met. 2. My parents thought his family was beneath ours. 3. I did not care. I kept a notebook under my mattress. On the first page in purple marker I had written, Maya Hayes. I was 10 years old and I already knew. Middle school came and went. Ethan and I stayed close even when my mother started making comments. You are spending too much time with that boy, Maya. People are going to talk. The Hayes family Euro different. Different meant poor. Different meant Mr. Hayes wore the same flannel jacket to church every Sunday. Different meant their car was 15 years old and made a sound like it was coughing. I was 13 when I asked my mother what was wrong with being different. She looked at me like I had said something in a foreign language. Nothing is wrong with it, sweetheart. It is just not for us. But it was for me. By the time I turned 15, I was in love with Ethan Hayes. I did not tell him. I did not tell anyone. But I knew. We spent every afternoon together. Some days we sat in his garage while he worked on engines. Other days we walked to the park 2 blocks away and sat on the swings until the streetlights came on. He talked about his dreams. He wanted to build something. Not just fix cars. Build something bigger. A business. The future. I told him I wanted to help. Help with what? He asked. Whatever you build, I said. I want to be part of it. He looked at me for a long time. Then he smiled. It was the kind of smile that stays with you. Hey, he said. Deal. I was 16 when he kissed me for the first time. It was October 2011. We were sitting in the treehouse we had built when we were kids. The wood was older now, creaking under our weight. The green paint was peeling. He had been quiet all evening. Then, without saying a word, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver ring. It was not expensive. It did not have a stone. It was simple, thin, and it fit perfectly on my finger. I know we are young, he said. But I also know I am not going to feel differently about you in 10 years. Or 20. Or 50. I did not cry. I smiled. Then we are doing this, I said. We kept it a secret. We had to. Because I knew even then what my parents would say. I wore the ring on a chain around my neck for 8 months. I was careful. I only wore it under my shirt. I never took it off in front of my mother. I never let it catch the light. But secrets do not stay hidden forever. Not in a house where your mother checks your laundry. It was June 2012. I had just turned 17. School was out for the summer. Ethan and I had been talking about the future, about what would happen after graduation. He wanted to start working full-time at his dad's shop and save money. I wanted to go to community college and study business. We had a plan. And then my mother found the ring. I came home from Ethan's house one afternoon to find her sitting at the kitchen table. The ring was on the table in front of her. The chain was coiled beside it like a snake. My father was standing by the counter. His arms were crossed. Sit down, Maya. I sat. My mother pushed the ring toward me with one finger, like it was something contaminated. What is this? It is a ring. I can see that. Where did you get it? I did not answer. Maya Catherine Bennett, I asked you a question. I looked at my father. His jaw was tight. His eyes were cold. Ethan gave it to me. The room went silent. My mother stood up so fast her chair scraped backward. Ethan Hayes gave you a ring? Yes. A ring that looks like an engagement ring? It is a promise ring. A promise. My father's voice was flat. What kind of promise? I looked him in the eye. That we are going to be together. My mother laughed. It was not a happy sound. It was sharp and bitter and full of disbelief. Together? You're 17 years old. That boy is 18 and works in a garage. He has no future. No education. No prospects. He is going to build something, I said. And I am going to help him. My father stepped forward. You are not going to do anything with Ethan Hayes. You're going to finish high school. You're going to go to a real college, not some community school. And you are going to stop seeing that boy. No. The word hung in the air. My mother stared at me. What did you just say? I said no. I love him. And I am not going to stop seeing him. My father picked up the ring. He walked to the trash can, opened the lid and dropped it in. I stood. You cannot do that. I just did. I walked to the trash can. My father blocked me. Move, Dad. Go to your room, Maya. Move. He did not move. I tried to push past him. He grabbed my arm. Not hard, but firm. You are making a mistake, he said. I looked at him. Then it is my mistake to make. I went to my room. I locked the door. And I texted Ethan. They found the ring. He replied in seconds. Are you okay? No, but I will be. I'm coming over. Don't. Not tonight. I will see you tomorrow. I lay in bed that night and stared at the ceiling. I could hear my parents talking downstairs. I could not make out the words, but I knew the tone. Anger. Disappointment. Shame. I did not sleep. The next morning, I went to Ethan's house before my parents woke up. I knocked on the door. Mrs. Hayes answered. She took one look at my face and pulled me inside. "Sweetheart, what happened?" Ethan came downstairs. He was still in his sleep shirt. His hair was a mess. He saw me and his face changed. "Maya." I told him everything. He did not interrupt. He did not get angry. He just listened. When I finished, he reached into his pocket and pulled out another ring. It was identical to the first one. "I bought two," he said. "Just in case." I started crying then. Not because I was sad. Because I realized I was standing in front of the only person who had ever really seen me. He slipped the ring onto my finger. "We are doing this," he said. "I do not care what they say." I nodded. "We are doing this." 3 months later, I turned 18. Ethan and I made a decision. We were not going to hide anymore. We were going to get engaged. Officially. Publicly. We told his parents first. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes were sitting in their living room when we walked in together, holding hands. Ethan's dad looked up from the newspaper. "You two look serious," he said. "We are," Ethan said. "I asked Maya to marry me, and she said yes." Mrs. Hayes set down her coffee cup. She looked at me, then at Ethan, then back at me. "Are you sure about this, sweetheart? You are both so young." "I am sure," I said. Mr. Hayes folded the newspaper. He stood up, walked over to Ethan and shook his hand. "Then congratulations, son." Mrs. Hayes hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. "Welcome to the family, Maya." That was August 15, 2012. 2 days later, we told my parents. I knew it was going to be bad. I did not know how bad. We sat in the living room. My mother, my father, my younger brother Derek, Ethan, and me. Ethan cleared his throat. "Mr. and Mrs. Bennett, I want to marry your daughter. I know we are young, but I love her, and I am going to spend the rest of my life making sure she is taken care of." The room was silent for 10 full seconds. Then my father stood up. "Get out of my house." Ethan did not move. "Mr. Bennett, I said, "Get out." "Dad, stop." I stood up. "We are not asking for permission. We are telling you. I am 18. This is my choice." My mother's voice was quiet. Too quiet. "If you marry him, Maya, you are not our daughter anymore." I felt the words hit me like a slap. "What?" "You heard me. If you walk out of this house with that boy, you do not come back." I looked at my father. He did not say anything. He did not have to. Derek was sitting on the couch, staring at his hands. He was only 13. He did not understand what was happening. Not really. I turned to Ethan. "Let us go." We walked to the front door together. My mother called after me. "Maya, if you leave now, that is it. No college fund. No help. No family." I stopped. I turned around. "I already have a family," I said. "And his last name is Hayes." We walked out. The door slammed behind us. I heard the lock click. I stood on the porch of 1247 Maple Grove Lane with one suitcase, the boy I loved, and nothing else. Ethan took my hand. "You are going to be okay," he said. "I promise." I believed him. Before I continue, I need to pause for just a moment. If you have ever been told that the person you love is not good enough, if you have ever had to choose between your family and your future, if you have ever stood on a porch with a suitcase and no idea what comes next, drop the word brave in the comments below. Because that is what you are. That is what we are. And if this story is hitting something deep in you, if you know what it feels like to be abandoned by the people who were supposed to protect you, subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell. Because every orphan has a story. And we are telling them. Now let me tell you what happened after I left. Ethan's parents gave me the guest bedroom. It was small. A twin bed, a wooden dresser, and a window that looked out onto the same street I had grown up on. I could see my parents' house from that window. I could see the porch I had just walked away from. I cried the first night. Quietly, with my face pressed into the pillow so no one would hear. Ethan knocked on the door at midnight. "Maya, I am fine. Can I come in?" I did not answer. He came in anyway. He sat on the edge of the bed. He did not say anything. He just sat there until I stopped crying. "I am scared," I whispered. "I know. What if they were right? What if we are making a mistake?" He looked at me. "The only mistake would be living a life someone else chose for you." I sat up. My eyes were swollen. My face was a mess. "We are really doing this? We are really doing this?" The next morning I started looking for work. I applied to every retail store, coffee shop, and office in Franklin. I had a high school diploma and no experience. Most places did not even call me back. Ethan was working 60 hours a week at his dad's shop. He gave me half of every paycheck. Ethan, I cannot take this. It is not charity, Maya. It is ours. We are building something together, remember? I remembered. I got hired at a Target on the edge of town. $8.50 an hour. 25 hours a week. I worked register, stocked shelves, and cleaned bathrooms. It was not glamorous, but it was mine. Ethan and I got married 3 months later. November 10th, 2012. We went to the courthouse in downtown Franklin. His parents came. My parents did not. I wore a white dress I bought at a thrift store for $12. Ethan wore the same shirt he had worn to his high school graduation. The judge asked if I took Ethan Michael Hayes to be my lawfully wedded husband. I said yes before he even finished the sentence. We did not have a reception. We did not have a honeymoon. We went to Cracker Barrel and split a plate of chicken and dumplings. Then we went home to the small apartment we had rented on the south side of Franklin. It was 450 square feet. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a kitchen the size of a closet. The rent was $600 a month. We could barely afford it, but it was ours. That first year was the hardest year of my life. We worked. We saved. We ate ramen 4 nights a week. We did not go to movies. We did not buy new clothes. Every single dollar went into a jar we kept on top of the fridge. The jar was labeled the future. By the end of 2013, we had saved $4,200. Ethan had an idea. I want to start a business, he said one night. We were sitting on the floor of our apartment because we did not have a couch yet. What kind of business? Tech repair. Computers, phones, tablets. People are always breaking screens. Always losing data. I've been learning how to fix them. I think I could do this full time. How much would it cost to start? He pulled out a notebook. He had done the math. Equipment, tools, business license, a small storefront lease. $15,000. We had $4,200. We will get there, I said. How? I do not know yet, but we will. I enrolled in night classes at Volunteer State Community College. Business administration. I worked at Target during the day, went to class at night, and studied while Ethan worked on side repair jobs in our apartment. By 2014, we had saved $11,000. By 2015, we had $18,000. That was the year we opened Hayes Tech Repair. It was a 600 square foot storefront on a side street in Cool Springs, just outside Franklin. The rent was $900 a month. We painted the walls ourselves. We built the counter out of plywood and 2x4s. The sign out front was hand-painted. Hayes Tech Repair. We fix what's broken. Ethan ran the repairs. I ran the books, the scheduling, the customer service, the marketing. We were open 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. The first month we made $1,400 in revenue. The second month, $2,100. By the end of the first year we were breaking even. By the end of the second year we were profitable. And by 2017 we had saved enough to expand. We hired 2 employees. We moved to a bigger location. We started offering data recovery and custom builds. I finished my associate degree. Then I transferred to Middle Tennessee State University and finished my bachelor's in business management. I graduated in May 2018. Ethan was in the audience. His parents were there. My parents were not. I had not spoken to them in 6 years. I did not cry about it anymore. But I still thought about them. Every birthday. Every Christmas. Every time I wanted to call my mom and tell her something good that had happened. But I did not call. Because they had made their choice. And I had made mine. In 2019 we made a decision that changed everything. We rebranded. Hayes Tech Repair became Bennett and Hayes Technologies. We were no longer just a repair shop. We were offering IT consulting for small businesses, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, managed services. Ethan handled the technical side. I handled sales, strategy, and client relationships. We moved into a real office. 2,500 square feet on the second floor of a building in Brentwood, Tennessee. We hired 6 more people. An office manager, 3 technicians, a marketing coordinator, and a sales associate. By the end of 2019, we had 42 clients and $640,000 in annual revenue. By the end of 2020, we had 70 clients and $1.2 million in revenue. By the end of 2021, We had 120 clients and $3.8 million in revenue. And by the end of 2023, we crossed $12 million. We were featured in the Nashville Business Journal. We were invited to speak at small business conferences. I was named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in January 2024. The girl my parents had said would amount to nothing was now running a multimillion-dollar company. But I was not doing it for them. I was doing it because Ethan and I had made a promise to each other in a treehouse when we were kids. We were going to build something. And we did. It was February 2024 when I realized I was late. I took the test in the bathroom of our office. 2 lines. Clear as day. I walked into Ethan's office and closed the door. He looked up from his laptop. What's wrong? I set the test on his desk. He stared at it. Then at me. Then back at the test. Maya. I know. He stood up. He walked around the desk. He put both hands on my face and kissed me so hard I forgot how to breathe. We are having a baby. We are having a baby. We did not tell anyone. Not yet. We wanted to wait until the first trimester was over. We wanted to make sure everything was okay. I scheduled an appointment at Vanderbilt University Medical Center for March 14th. A routine checkup. Just to confirm everything was progressing normally. Ethan took the afternoon off. We drove to Nashville together. We were nervous, excited, scared in the best way. We parked in the garage. We walked through the automatic doors into the main lobby. And that is when I saw her, my mother, sitting in a plastic chair outside the ICU, her face buried in her hands, her shoulders shaking, my Aunt Linda beside her, my brother Derek pacing with his phone pressed to his ear. I stopped walking. Ethan felt me freeze. He turned. Maya. I could not speak. I could not move. My mother looked up. Her eyes met mine. She stared at the badge clipped to my blazer. P.O. Bennett and Hayes Technologies. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. My Aunt Linda stood. She took one step toward me, then stopped. She looked at my stomach. She looked at my face, then back at the badge. Derek turned. Maya. His voice cracked. I had not heard his voice in 11 years. He was 13 the last time I saw him. Now he was 24. Taller. Thinner. He looked like our father. I did not move. Ethan squeezed my hand. Do you want to leave? He whispered. I looked at my mother. She was still staring at me. Her eyes were red. Her face was pale. I should have walked away. I should have turned around and left. But I did not. Because even after everything they had done, even after 11 years of silence, I needed to know. What happened? I asked. My voice was steady. Calm. The same voice I used in client meetings. My mother stood. She took one shaky step forward. Maya. Her voice broke. It is your father. My father had collapsed at work. A heart attack. Massive. He had been in surgery for 6 hours. He was stable now. But the damage was severe. He needed a second surgery. A bypass. The insurance covered part of it, but not all. The out-of-pocket cost was $87,000. My mother sat back down in the plastic chair. She was shaking. We do not have it, Maya. We do not have anywhere near that much. I stood there, silent. Ethan was beside me. His hand was still in mine. My Aunt Linda spoke quietly. We had been calling everyone. Family, friends, the church. We have raised $11,000. But it is not enough. And the hospital needs a deposit before they will schedule the second surgery. I looked at my mother. Why are you telling me this? She looked up. Tears were streaming down her face. Because you are the only person I know who might be able to help. The words hung in the air. 11 years of silence. 11 years of no phone calls, no birthday cards, no apologies. And now she needed me. Derek stepped forward. Maya, I know you do not owe us anything. I know what they did to you. But he is still our dad. Anero, his voice broke. I do not want him to die. I looked at my little brother. The last time I had seen him, he had been playing video games in the living room while my parents kicked me out of the house. He was a kid then. He was a man now. And he was scared. Ethan leaned close to me. Whatever you decide, he whispered, I am with you. I looked at my mother. Does he know I am here? She shook her head. He is sedated. He has not been awake since the surgery. I turned to the nurse's station. I need to speak to the billing department. The billing coordinator's name was Sharon. She was in her 50s, gray hair pulled into a bun, reading glasses on a chain around her neck. I sat across from her in a small office on the third floor. Ethan sat beside me. My mother and aunt stayed in the waiting room. Your father's account shows a balance of $87,400 for the upcoming procedure, Sharon said. Insurance covered the emergency surgery, but the bypass is considered semi-elective at this stage. The hospital requires a deposit of $40,000 before scheduling. When do they need it? Within 72 hours. Otherwise, the surgery will be pushed back to the next available opening, which could be 4 to 6 weeks. And if he waits that long? Sharon's expression softened. I cannot give medical advice, but I can tell you that in cases like this, time matters. I looked at Ethan. He nodded. I turned back to Sharon. I will cover it. All of it. The full $87,400. Sharon blinked. All of it. Yes. Can I wire the funds tomorrow? She typed something into her computer. Yes. I will send you the wire instructions. And may I ask your relationship to the patient? I hesitated. I am his daughter. Her face softened even more. He is very lucky to have you. I did not respond. We left the billing office and went back downstairs. My mother was standing now. She saw my face and her hands went to her mouth. Maya. The surgery is covered, I said. All of it. She collapsed. Not dramatically. Just her knees gave out. My Aunt Linda caught her. What? I am paying for it. The deposit will be wired tomorrow. They will schedule the surgery within the week. My mother started sobbing. Full body shaking sobs. Derek stared at me like I was someone he did not recognize. Maya, that euro that is almost $90,000. I know. How do you? He looked at the badge on my blazer again. What do you do? I run a tech company, I said. With my husband. I gestured to Ethan. Derek looked at him. Really looked at him. Ethan Hayes. Ethan nodded. Good to see you, Derek. Derek's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. You two euro married? For 12 years, I said. My mother looked up from her hands. Her face was streaked with tears. 12 years. Yes. Maya, she stood slowly. I did not know. You did not ask. The words were not cruel. They were just true. She flinched. I am so sorry. I did not respond. She stepped closer. I know I do not deserve your help. I know what we did to you. But thank you. Thank you for saving him. I looked at her. I am not doing this for you, I said quietly. I am doing this because it is the right thing to do. I turned to Ethan. Let's go. We still have an appointment. We walked toward the elevator. My mother called after me. Maya, please. Can we talk? After everything settles? Please. I stopped. I did not turn around. Maybe, I said. And then I stepped into the elevator and the doors closed. The checkup took 20 minutes. Everything was fine. The baby was healthy. I was healthy. The due date was October 12, 2024. The nurse printed out the ultrasound images and handed them to me. Congratulations, she said. Do you want to know the sex? I looked at Ethan. He smiled. Not yet, I said. We want to wait. We walked out of the medical center holding hands. The ultrasound images were tucked into my purse. We did not talk until we got to the car. Ethan started the engine. Then he turned to me. Are you okay? I did not answer right away. I do not know, I said finally. You just gave them almost $90,000. I know. After they threw you out. I know. Why? I looked at him. Because if I did not, I would spend the rest of my life wondering if I could have saved him. And I do not want to carry that. Ethan nodded. Okay. Okay. I told you. Whatever you decide, I am with you. I leaned over and kissed him. I love you. I love you too. We drove home in silence. The kind of silence that is not uncomfortable. Just heavy. That night I could not sleep. I kept thinking about my mother's face. The way she had looked at my badge. The way she had said my name. Like she was seeing me for the first time. Or maybe like she was realizing she had never really seen me at all. My father had the surgery 4 days later. It was successful. The doctors said he would need 6 weeks of recovery, followed by cardiac rehab and significant lifestyle changes. My mother called me the day after the surgery. I almost did not answer. But I did. Maya. Yes. He is awake. The surgery went well. The doctor sighed. They said you saved his life. I did not know what to say to that. I am glad he is okay. Maya, can I see you, please? Just for a few minutes. I hesitated. Why? Because I owe you more than a phone call. I thought about it. Thought about hanging up. I thought about saying no. But I did not. Hey, I said. Tomorrow. 2 o'clock. The Starbucks on Carruthers Parkway. I will be there. She hung up. Ethan looked at me from across the kitchen table. You are really going to meet her? I think I have to. Do you want me to come? No. I need to do this alone. Before I tell you what happened at that coffee shop, I want to pause again. If you have ever had to sit across from someone who hurt you and decide whether to forgive them, type the word healing in the comments. Because that is what this is. Not forgetting. Not pretending it did not happen. But choosing to heal anyway. And if you are still with me, if you have watched this far because this story is reminding you of your own, subscribe. Share this video. Because someone in your life needs to hear that it is okay to protect yourself. And it is also okay to choose grace. Now let me tell you what my mother said. She was already there when I arrived. Sitting in the corner by the window. Hands wrapped around a cup of coffee she had not touched. She looked older. Thinner. Her hair was streaked with more gray than I remembered. I sat down across from her. Hi, Mom. She looked up. Her eyes filled with tears immediately. Hi, baby. I did not correct her. I did not say you do not get to call me that anymore. I just let it sit. She took a breath. I do not know where to start. Then start with the truth. She nodded. I was wrong, Maya. Your father and we were wrong. We thought we were protecting you. We thought Ethan was going to ruin your life. But we were the ones who almost ruined it. You did ruin it, I said quietly. You threw me out. You told me I was not your daughter. Do you know what that does to a 17-year-old? He was crying now. I know, and I am so sorry. Why did you do it? Because I was scared. Because I wanted you to have a life that looked successful. A life that looked better than mine. Better than yours? I married your father because he had a steady job and a house. I thought that was what mattered. Stability. Security. But I was never happy, Maya. Not really. And when I saw you with Ethan, I saw you choosing love over security. And it terrified me. I sat back. So you punished me for choosing differently than you did. Yes. She looked at me. And I have regretted it every single day since. Then why did not you call? Why did not you show up? Why did not you try? Because your father would not let me. I froze. What? He said if we let you back we would be enabling you. He said we had to stay firm. And I listened to him. I chose him over you. And I will never forgive myself for that. I felt something crack open inside me. Not anger. Something deeper. Grief. I needed you, Mom. I needed you so many times. And you were not there. I know. I graduated college. I built a business. I got married. And you were not there for any of it. I know. And now you are here because you need me. She flinched. Yes. And I hate that it took this for me to have the courage to face you. But Maya, even if your father had not gotten sick, I was going to find you. I swear. I have been trying to work up the courage for 2 years. 2 years. I saw the article in the Nashville Business Journal. The one about your company. I saw your picture. I saw Ethan's name next to yours. And I realized I had been wrong about everything. She pulled something out of her purse. It was the article. Folded and refolded so many times the creases were worn soft. I have been carrying this with me ever since. I stared at it. You kept it. I keep everything, Maya. I have every school photo. Every report card. Every drawing you ever made. I kept all of it because even when I was not allowed to talk to you, I could not let you go. I did not know what to say. She reached across the table. She did not touch me. She just laid her hand flat on the table between us. I do not expect you to forgive me. I do not expect you to let me back into your life. But I need you to know that I am proud of you. I am so proud of who you have become. And I am sorry I was not there to see it. I looked at her hand, and then I put mine on top of it. She started sobbing. I did not cry, but I held her hand. I am not ready to let you all the way back in, I said. But I am willing to try. She nodded. That is more than I deserve. 2 weeks later, my father was released from the hospital. My mother called and asked if I would come by the house. I said yes. Ethan came with me. We pulled into the driveway of 1247 Maple Grove Lane for the first time in 11 years. The house looked the same. The same white siding. The same black shutters. The same porch where I had stood with a suitcase and heard the door lock behind me. My mother opened the door before we even knocked. Come in, please. We stepped inside. The living room looked different. Smaller. Or maybe I was just bigger now. My father was sitting in a recliner by the window. He was thin. He had an oxygen tube under his nose. He looked up when I walked in. We stared at each other. Maya. Dad. He tried to stand. My mother put a hand on his shoulder. Do not. The doctor said no exertion. He sat back down. You look good, he said. Thank you. He looked at Ethan. Ethan. Mr. Bennett. Silence. My father cleared his throat. I owe you both an apology. I did not respond. I was wrong, Maya. Thought I was protecting you. I thought Ethan was not good enough for you. But I was the one who was not good enough. I was not good enough to see who you really were. And I am sorry. His voice cracked. I am sorry for what I said. I am sorry for kicking you out. I am sorry for all of it. I looked at him. Do you know what you did to me? Yes. Do you know how many nights I cried myself to sleep because I thought my own father hated me? Yes. Do you know how many times I wanted to call you and tell you something good that happened and I could not? Because you told me I was not your daughter anymore. He was crying now. Yes. And I will carry that for the rest of my life. I took a breath. I forgive you, Dad. Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to let it go. He broke. Full body shaking sobs. My mother was crying. Derek, who was standing in the hallway, was crying. Ethan squeezed my hand. My father looked up at me. Thank you for saving my life. You are welcome. And thank you for becoming someone I wish I had been brave enough to support. I nodded. I am going to be a grandmother, my mother said softly. I looked at her. Yes. In October. She smiled through her tears. Can I be part of it? I hesitated. We will see. One step at a time. That is fair. We stayed for an hour. We drank coffee. We talked. It was not easy. It was not comfortable. But it was a start. When we left, my mother hugged me at the door. I love you, Maya. I hesitated. Then I said it back. I love you too, Mom. Over the next 6 months, my parents and I rebuilt our relationship. Slowly. One phone call at a time. One coffee date at a time. One Sunday dinner at a time. They met our team at Bennett and Hayes. They toured the office. They saw what Ethan and I had built. My father shook Ethan's hand and said, I was wrong about you, son. You are a better man than I ever was. Ethan said, I just love your daughter, sir. That is all I have ever done. My mother started knitting baby blankets. She made 3 of them. 1 yellow, 1 green, 1 white. Derek and I started texting. He told me he had always looked up to me. He told me he had hated what our parents did. He told me he had tried to find me on social media 100 times but was too scared to reach out. I thought you would hate me, he said. I never hated you, I said. You were a kid. This was not your fault. In August, we found out we were having a girl. We told my parents over dinner. My mother cried. My father smiled. What are you going to name her? My mother asked. We are still deciding, I said. But I already knew. We were going to name her Caroline. After Ethan's mother. The woman who had taken me in when my own mother had turned me away. Our daughter was born on October 9th, 2024. 3 days early. 7 pounds 4 ounces. Perfect. We named her Caroline Hayes Bennett. Ethan cried when he held her for the first time. So did I. My parents came to the hospital. So did Ethan's parents. My mother asked if she could hold her. I hesitated. Then I said yes. She held Caroline like she was made of glass. She cried. She whispered, I am so sorry I missed so much of your mom's life. But I promise I will be here for yours. My father sat in the chair by the window. He was still recovering. Still on oxygen part of the day. But he smiled. She looks like you, Maya. She looks like her dad, I said. Ethan kissed my forehead. She looks like both of us. Caroline is 6 months old now. Bennett and Hayes Technologies crossed $15 million in revenue this year. We have 32 employees. We are expanding into 2 new states. Ethan and I bought a house in Brentwood. 4 bedrooms. A big backyard. Room for Caroline to grow. We visit my parents every other Sunday. It is still not perfect. There are still moments of tension. Still things we do not talk about. But we are trying. And that is more than I ever thought I would have. My mother babysits Caroline once a week. He sings to her. She reads to her. She is trying to be the grandmother she was not able to be as a mother. My father is healthier now. He walks every morning. He has changed his diet. He has stopped working 60-hour weeks. He told me last month, almost dying taught me what actually matters. Derek is in school now, studying business. He wants to work with us one day. I told him, finish your degree first. Then we will talk. Ethan's parents are the best grandparents Caroline could ask for. Mrs. Hayes makes her lemon cake on her half-birthday. Mr. Hayes built her a crib by hand. Me. I am a CEO, a wife, a mother, a daughter. I am all of it. The girl who was thrown away became the woman who built something from nothing. Not because I wanted to prove my parents wrong, but because I wanted to prove to myself that love is stronger than fear. And it is. They told me I was making a mistake. They told me Ethan was not good enough. They told me I would amount to nothing. But they were wrong. Because the boy they rejected became my husband, my business partner, and the father of my child. And the girl they abandoned became the woman who saved their life. Not because I had to, but as I chose to. If you were ever told you were not good enough, if you were ever abandoned by the people who were supposed to love you, if you ever had to build yourself from nothing because no one else would build you up, then you are exactly who this channel was made for. Every orphan has a story. This has been Orphan Origins. Like this video. Subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear that forgiveness is not about them. It is about you. It is about freedom. And if you want to share your own origin story, drop it in the comments. We read every single one.